Moving to Sweden was exciting, and it was, for me, a chance to get to learn more about a different part of the world that I've never been to, and it was a chance to take my first job and to get my first experience teaching, and why not do it in another country?
It was a kind of a no-brainer. I was really excited and I really like traveling. I hadn't traveled in a couple years, and after graduating it was just a really easy decision to make. Sweden, I had heard so much great things about it and just the whole kind of Scandinavian area, and having the opportunity to come here has been fantastic. I really loved it.
I was planning on choosing somewhere to go in about a month, and I was given this fantastic opportunity without looking deeply into other options, but the opportunity was simply, what I wanted, and there's no passing it up.
All my previous teaching experience has been in kind of private international schools, so this was a very big change for me because I landed in Sweden and there's no kind of class selection or anything. You've got to. It's the first come, first serve. Whoever's on the waiting list gets in the schools.
Well, a few people from IES came to Minnesota, actually, recruiting, and so they were holding an information session at my university, and I thought, why not go? I like to travel and I like to go to different places around the world, so I went, I got more information. They seemed happy and they talked about Sweden and how fabulous Sweden was, so I thought, at least for 1 year, why not just take the plunge and go over there and see what it's like?
It was actually quite simple in ways. I was set up with a place to live, and I was fortunate enough to take those over from other Canadian teachers, so I had everything I need from pots and pans to spices, and I think that was, I was really lucky to get that. A lot of teachers didn't, but it was easy to just kind of move and adapt myself for a couple of weeks before starting the job.
I had a lot of support. Originally my apartment was found for me, so that was fantastic. And then my head of department picked me up, brought me to IKEA to help me get all the stuff for my apartment. And the school was open to us to use for internet or whatever we needed. We had tours around Sundsvall and maps to help us find our way. And then once we got to the school, becoming a teacher here, your lessons are observed frequently, but you don't feel you're being watched. It does feel like support. And I think as a teacher, they've really helped me grow at IES to become a better teacher. It's not uncommon to have my principal come into my lessons and really debate with me and discuss with me what I'm doing and where I want to go with it. And I say that's one of the biggest benefits.
It was a pretty, actually, seamless transition. It was really nice. The school kind of helped me find some accommodations, which was kind of difficult.
I had loads of support, actually. We were in touch with Karen from the office and the school months before we arrived, and they were emailing us back and forwards, suggesting apartments and finding out what kind of daycare our baby would like to go to, and just making sure that we had all the information that we needed. I was in touch with my head of department for loads of months before, just checking that I'd read the right books and that I'd got the right subject knowledge for what I was about to teach. She gave me all the unit plans and the course plans. So as far as a new teacher coming into an IES school, the system is different. They don't wear uniforms. It's totally backwards, but it's so cool and it's so fun and it's freeing, and they give you loads of support because they really look after you.
I got help finding a house, and that was really helpful. Again, I was lucky. I had a couple of people on the inside helping me as well. So maybe I didn't rely on the school as much as some people might, but it was supportive. Anything I asked for, I found out very quickly. But like moving anywhere, it's going to be a bit challenging, I think, for people. And a lot of the things you shouldn't worry about until you get there, and you can work it out, because you're on the ground then, and you can start working about visas or getting social security, things like that. Are really simple, especially in a place like Sweden that's so organized, compared to trying to do them over email, over phone. You go down to the office, you do it, 4 weeks later, someone's posts come through for you and you're set up.
I thought I would be kind of nervous, but everyone here at IES has been very welcoming and very accommodating. We have all the different people that I work with have helped me with my transition. The school helped me find an apartment, and the school economist helped me get all my paperwork and everything organized. So I didn't ever feel like I was alone or having to deal with any of that on my own.
I find it very easy because you can speak English wherever you go. So the transition was quite easy moving here. You don't have to rely on Swedish. You're not forced to learn it. It's more something you have to make yourself learn coming here. So
first it was kind of scary, you know, everyone's speaking Swedish, but actually everyone here, their English is fantastic, and it's been really easy to kind of transition into every routines and getting groceries and going to the bank and all that kind of stuff.
Colleagues were coming in, watching a lesson, checking that we were okay, making sure we understood the system. There's loads of support in the first. There's like barbecues and like bonding trips and stuff in the beginning, which was really fun and got us all together and talking to each other. And our school has a very strange tradition that all the new staff have to do like a weird song or performance for the old staff. So that was a bit freaky, but that was fun. So we like performed. What did we do? I think we did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to the rest of the staff, so that was kind of fun.
And then everyone that I work with is basically like my family. So any sort of holidays, like Thanksgiving in America, we had a Friendsgiving here, and so then we all got together and I still baked pumpkin pies, and we watched a recorded American football game. So it was still like we get to still do fun things, and the people that you work with really embrace you and take you in sort of as your family, because they know that you are far away from home and far from the people that you love. So
the outdoor sports is fantastic here. Sweden is a very, very outdoors place, and the people here are very passionate about the outdoors. There's something, if you come here, you learn quite quickly. It's called freedom to roam, which means you can go absolutely everywhere and camp absolutely anywhere as long as you're not on someone's front lawn and respecting nature. So the outdoor opportunities is endless, which I'm really kind of taking in here, and I'm really enjoying it.
Loads of support, definitely, and definitely worth doing. It is different, I'm not gonna lie. It is different, but it's a really good different, and it's really freeing.
For me, I think so. I think the Swedes are very welcoming people, and they're very kind people. And so they're always excited to teach you more about Sweden, about their different celebrations that they have, because they have their very scheduled celebrations, and then, you know, time of year for different types of foods and those kind of things. And they're always very excited to share about it with you. So
the subject doesn't say you've got to learn this book. It just says make sure by the end of the year that they can do this, and you're allowed to do whatever you do as long as they've learned that thing, which is really freeing and really, like, I don't know, nice.
We have teachers from Australia, Canada, America, and we have some from Poland, Czech Republic, so there is quite a mix. German, and I'm sure I'm forgetting lots of others. So
integrating into Sweden was very easy. The people are usually very friendly, and everything kind of makes sense. They have a lot of directions in English too, which is easy to kind of understand where to be going.
I thought Sweden would be kind of similar to Minnesota, which is where I'm from, and it definitely is a lot more similar than I could have even imagined. And it's a great place to live and to move because it's very safe and it's very secure, and the Swedes are very much like Minnesotans, so for me it wasn't a big adjustment.
I think it brings perspective and a lot of new ideas, and I think it allows us to collaborate and mix what we have. And also, especially with the language teachers, a lot of them are Spanish or French, so they bring that in with them as well. And so I think it's a great thing. It adds culture to our school and helps students see a bit about what happens. And as a social science teacher, I find all the time comparing a Swedish government to a Canadian government to other governments we know, and I think it's good for the students to gain that perspective on the world and get a little taste of it, so maybe hopefully they'll be more intrigued to either seek it out through travel or research. So.
Even, you know, people ask me, what have you been through culture shock? And for me, no, because the mannerisms of the Swedes even is very much like the people in Minnesota. I mean, I think a lot of the way, like even when they're shopping, they don't like people to come up and bother them. And I think that's similar in Minnesota, but the American type of customer service doesn't allow for that. So in America, you know, you're always bothered by, can I help you? Can I help you? But here, you don't really get that, which is kind of nice. And I think that's one thing Minnesotans like. But the landscaping here is very similar. The trees, the animals outside, the weather is a lot more mild than Minnesota. So that was another reason I had to get away from the horrible Minnesota winters. So it's been much nicer here weather-wise.
I loved using the tram system here in Gothenburg. I love not having to use my car and being able to kind of travel all over Europe. Sweden's actually a pretty kind of central location, and it's nice we've been able to make some trips around to other cities also.
The more I live here, the more I can pick out differences. But when I first came, it's so similar to Canada in so many ways. You know, yes, you can feel like you're in a different country, but it's not a big culture shock, and you can really kind of feel at home in a foreign place.
It's really interesting teaching students who speak 4 to 5 languages. I think it's incredible to see them switching easily back and forth between their multiple languages, and the social system is really what's different here. So in terms of school supplies, the kids are given things here, you know, from day one, where that's definitely different in America. So it's nice to kind of see how it's equalized a little bit more and kind of compare in that sort of a sense.
I expected the level of English to be a lot lower, and maybe the students wouldn't be as proficient, but I was completely blown away when I got here as an English teacher how proficient they are, how great their skills are at communicating in English, writing in English, arguing in English. They're completely fluent to the point where it almost does feel the same for students their age. They are performing in English almost at the same level. So that was very, very impressive. So that for me made it feel a lot like home, because I can treat them just like grade 9s I would at home as well. So that has been fantastic.
The school is really good with discipline and making sure that the kids are quiet and calm so that everyone has a chance to work, whether you're like I was saying about differentiation before. If you're an A grade student and you need a calm, quiet atmosphere, then you've got it and you can work on it, and you can maybe work on some different work, while other people who are maybe less of a grade, maybe more of a D grade, can also have a quiet, calm atmosphere to work and not feel like they've loads of noise and loads of distractions. And so that's really good. And then also they line the kids up before they go into class, and then they make sure that they all say good morning before they sit down in class. So there's lots of little routines and rituals that they do that really help with classroom management, which is awesome actually for a teacher.
And I think the way the school is, I mean, we have ethos that are very similar to North American schools, and so therefore I see that here. And also there are so many North American and English-speaking teachers, so it doesn't feel extremely different. But you get a nice taste of Swedish culture, people, and flavor being here as well. So.
Yeah, I brought a couple Canadian flags, and I brought my hockey skates, and I'm a sports guy and I have lots of hobbies, so I brought my kayaking stuff, and I brought more gear than clothes just because I like to be outdoors and do things like that. So if you're moving here, you can buy clothes anywhere. Bring the stuff that you want, and you can buy the clothes later.
Oh God, tea and cheese. Tea here is rubbish. They have Liptons and it's just not good enough. So we've got a big box of Harrogate Yorkshire tea at home that we brought over, like 400 tea bags or something that we're using. So tea is great. And then I always get my friends from Kenya to send us Kenyan coffee, because that's amazing. The coffee here is really good actually, but it's not as nice as Kenyan coffee, of course. And then cheese as well. British cheese is amazing, and I really miss that here.
There's a certain kind of tea I like that I always bring back, or Dove chocolate. But other than that, I mean, that's something everyone asks me. What do you miss the most when you live in Sweden? And I say, not really anything, because I feel like everything I truly need is here. And so I enjoy the lifestyle here, the healthiness, the way the people are so active, and the beautiful trails to run on and bike on. I mean, I just love sort of the atmosphere here, and I mean, there's nothing there's nothing that's not here that I need, so.
Yes, I do have a liter jug of maple syrup. Also French's mustard, which seems very strange, but mustard in Sweden is very sweet. It's almost like honey mustard. So at home, it's not like that at all. It's very tart, which I like better. What else? Cold medicine, of all the things. Swedish cold medicine is very weak. Medicine here is very weak. So you'll see a lot of Canadians exchanging NyQuil and DayQuil and all these medicines that we're used to having when we catch our winter colds. So that is a big thing.
You get a big bag of Yorkshire tea. UK is just a hop away. You can fly back. I've gone back like 4 times. I've only been here 9 months. You can get back as often as you like. And my brother goes back and forth. Everybody else who goes to UK brings something. People send care packages. It's really easy. We get Yorkshire tea and some PG tips. We get Marmite brought and Weetabix, although I think you can get that now.
Since I've been here, we have breaks quite frequently, and that's another thing you're not used to in Canada. So we have a break in the fall, Christmas, Easter, a sports break, which you have to love about Sweden. So you get a week off to enjoy the winter sports, which is great. So I've gone skiing in the Swedish mountains a few times, but I've also traveled around to Belgium a few times. I've been to Hungary, Greece, Turkey, the Czech Republic, and we all travel on all breaks, even long weekends. You can hop over to Finland for a weekend by boat. You can do so much here, and even just enjoying Sweden, going to the north and experience that. I've been past the Arctic Circle into the Arctic Desert to go and search out the Northern Lights, so there's been countless opportunities to travel, so it's been great.
I've been able to go to Paris, Rome. We went up to Norway, which is one of my favorite trips, seeing the fjords. We went over to Stockholm for a day to visit IES headquarters, and that's been about it. And I'm going to Croatia this weekend, so yeah, it'll be really nice.
Oh yeah, it's been a great opportunity to also hop around to different countries. So I've been to Ireland twice this year, and I went to London for the Minnesota Vikings game. It was my first Vikings game, so why not do it in London in the Wembley Stadium? And I am also already getting ready to plan trips next year. And I've also been home, which is nice, 3 times this year, which I only plan on going 1 time, but it's worked out a couple times. And our breaks are fantastic. So traveling, going home, whatever needs to happen, you're very able to do it.
And we've actually had a lot of people come to visit us, and that's been a really fun time. A bunch of my friends all piled in a plane and came over, and it's been some good memories already.
I would say if you're not sure, talk to whoever your main contact person is and ask them to get you into contact with another teacher that's working abroad here, because we are all very willing to answer any questions, help out if people are kind of wavering whether or not they should come.
I would recommend it. I think if you're not sure about moving abroad ever, this is a really good spot to go, especially if you're Canadian. If you look around, it's very similar aesthetically to Canada, and the nature is very similar. Yes, of course, the buildings have a different charm and character to them, but it's an easy transition here, I've found, living here. Been very comfortable, and like I said, the language isn't difficult, so you don't feel lost. You can speak English in any situation and get by. So that makes it very easy. Also, I think being in this school system anyway, being at IES, you're supported so well coming here, and there's people in your situation, so it's very easy as a teacher to come here, I've found anyway. I haven't called home crying, asking, begging to come back ever since I've been here, so I feel really lucky. So I would highly recommend it.
I would say to absolutely go for it. I think it's an amazing opportunity. It's great being able to kind of plug into a different culture really easily, and being able to see how another country operates. So it's been really nice, and I've loved every minute.
It's better to take the plunge. I don't know how, moving to somewhere like Sweden especially, you're going to have a new and different experience. The summers are wonderful, winter's amazing, all the things you can get up to, and just for an experience of it. So I don't think anybody could actually regret making the decision. And in that sense, it's I think that would tip my balance, or did tip my balance on whether I should decide to come or not, because it's quite a safe decision. You're going to enjoy it, and then it's how long or how much of an imprint on Sweden you want to make. Especially if you're looking to move within UK already. I mean, then moving to Sweden would just be a little bit extra exciting.
A lot of my friends from university and teachers college have simply just asked me about what my teaching experience has been like over here. And after just having a quick conversation with them, explaining what I do and how it works, it's pretty often that they will send an email to Pascal or the company, applying for a job. And I've actually had, I have about 9 to 10 friends living in Sweden now from a university, just because they've talked to me about it, and now I've joined the company, which is fantastic.
I would say do it, definitely do it. Only because why not do it? I mean, it's a great place to work. The country's amazing. There's loads to do here. It's like really outdoorsy. There's skiing in the winter and snowboarding and all the snow stuff. And then in the summer, there's loads of like sailing and I don't know, there's loads of lakes and mountains and hiking and rock climbing and cycling. They're really sporty and healthy here, which is awesome. But also, as a teacher, you're going to want to have loads of strings to your bow, and it's a really cool experience to just say that I've worked in like loads of different schools, loads of different systems. Have an experience, enjoy it, take it while you can, because I mean anyone can be a teacher and just work in an English school. But if you're a teacher that's worked at international schools and travelled a little bit and seen different cultures and met different types of kids and been in different types of classrooms, then you're only going to become a better teacher at the end of the day. So it's definitely something that I would recommend. Definitely.
I would say Sweden, to me, is one of the best places I've ever been. I love it here. It's beautiful. The people are wonderful. The students are great. So maybe for somebody who's not ready to make a huge jump into something completely different, this would be the perfect step to see if it's right for you. Yeah, I have no complaints, so I highly recommend it.